The success of a food processing plant depends on employees like you. The actions you take or do not take directly influence the safety and quality of the product. Some foods, like candy and pretzels, do not spoil readily. Bakery products are somewhat more susceptible, whereas meat, vegetables, and dairy products are very perishable. Whatever the product, every manufacturing plant has special requirements to protect it, especially from contamination. Contamination means the addition of anything that makes the final product unfit or undesirable. To begin, let's talk about the vital importance of your health and cleanliness. The surface of our bodies is covered with millions of living things called microorganisms. They're so tiny that they are invisible unless viewed with a microscope. Most of the time, these microorganisms are harmless, and some of them are actually good. They are used to make cheese, bread, beer, and other products. But some are dangerous. If they get into the food we make, they can cause illness or death. Other microorganisms can cause premature food spoilage. You must make certain that the food you work with and anything that goes into it or contacts it does not become contaminated by microorganisms. When you keep your body and your hair clean by bathing or showering frequently, the number of microorganisms or microbes will be reduced, and the chances of contamination are decreased. Clothing can also be a source of contaminants. Thread from frayed clothing, buttons, pins, and other items can become loose and fall off, and things frequently fall out of our shirt or jacket pockets. Snap closures are satisfactory, but buttons and pockets above the waist are not. It's important that you do not store your outer garments where food, supplies, or equipment are exposed. If you're provided with a uniform, apron, or coat, it's important to keep it clean. Outer garments such as coats and aprons should be removed before you use the restroom. This will reduce the possibility of picking up foreign matter from the toilet or urinal. If you wear your own clothes, they must be clean, light-colored, in good condition, and without the attachments mentioned earlier. Do not wear tank tops on the job because your armpits must be covered. And if you have exceptionally hairy arms, a long-sleeve shirt may be required. The customer who finds hair in his or her food is an ex-customer. In addition to being offensive, hair is covered with millions of microbes. To protect the product, supplies, and equipment, you must wear a plain, clean hairnet to enclose all of your hair, including bangs and sideburns. Also, beards and long mustaches must be covered with a snood. Let's now take a look at your shoes or boots. Make sure that they're clean and in good condition. Dairy plants and critical areas in other plants may have a foot bath or mat containing a strong sanitizing solution at the entrance. You must walk through it to reduce the number of microbes on your footwear. For the sanitizer to be effective, your shoes or boots must be free of heavy deposits. Pay special attention to your hands, which can pick up microbes from your hair, your footwear, your mouth, and many other places. Microorganisms can collect in your nail beds and under your fingernails, so these areas need special attention. Trim your fingernails closely and clean them to deprive microbes of a hiding place. Before you start to work, remove your jewelry and thoroughly wash your hands with hot water and soap. You must wash for at least 20 seconds to reduce the number of microbes. Vigorously rub or scrub all surfaces, including the backs of your hands, your wrists, and between your fingers. The faucets will be soiled by your dirty hands when you turn on the water. After washing, do not recontaminate your hands by turning the dirty handles. Use a paper towel to touch any dirty surface, the faucet handle, and the knob on the door leading back to the plant. Many plants have hand wash sinks operated automatically or by a knee or foot, so you don't have to touch the faucets with your hands. Wash your hands whenever they become contaminated, after such activities as using the toilet, eating or drinking, handling dirty utensils, supplies, or equipment, picking an item up from the floor, or coughing or sneezing into your hands or a tissue. Where the product or operation requires additional protection, the hands must also be sanitized. This can be done by dipping them for several seconds in a diluted sanitizer, by washing them with soap containing a sanitizer, or by using an automatic hand washing and sanitizing device. If you handle perishable or special ready-to-eat products or do other sensitive operations, disposable gloves may be required for further product protection. Gloves are most often worn to protect the food, not your hands, so you must keep your gloves clean and sanitary. Like your hands, they can become contaminated, but gloves are smoother and more readily cleaned than your hands. When soiled, gloves must be washed with soap and water and re-sanitized. They must be replaced when damaged or when they can no longer be cleaned.
Come on in. What happened to you?
If you have an open cut, sore, or infection, or if you're not feeling well, report to your supervisor. You may be reassigned temporarily to another job where you are not in direct contact with exposed products, ingredients, packaging supplies, or equipment. This is to avoid the possibility of infectious microbes accidentally getting into the food. Microbes are not the only things that can get into the food accidentally. Food may pick up an off flavor or strange odor from your fragrance, cosmetics, or skin conditioner, so please do not use them. If a protective skin cream has been recommended by your doctor, you must inform your supervisor or the company nurse. Obviously, hair decorations or fasteners, false eyelashes, nail decorations, false nails, wristwatches, and jewelry must also be kept out of the product. Remove them before starting to work. If you must wear a necklace, be sure it is on a secure chain and keep it under your clothing. If it becomes loose, it will be less likely to drop into the food. If you wear eyeglasses, use a safety strap, especially in hot areas. Nail polish may chip and fall into the product, so it should not be used. Rings or their stones can fall off and into the product, and microorganisms that live in the soil or dirt on and under them can also find their way into the food. If your ring cannot be removed, carefully wash it, dry your hands, cover the ring with tape, and wear a glove. Two other items for protecting product are sweatbands and gauntlets. Working in a hot, steamy environment may cause you to perspire freely. As the beads of perspiration roll across your skin, they pick up contaminants which must be kept away from the production line. Clean sweatbands offer some protection. At the other extreme, working under refrigerated conditions may require additional clothing, such as a sweater under your outer garment. Make sure sleeves and other parts of such garments remain covered. If they are exposed, they may come in direct contact with food or the line and cause contamination. To avoid this, Tuck your sweater under your belt and pull the sleeves up under your coat. Or use a sleeve-protecting gauntlet. To avoid the possibility of dirt and microbes being picked up by your clothing, hands, or shoes, you must take the most direct, authorized path to your workstation. Unnecessarily walking through a raw product area to get to a finished product area could undermine all the hard work it took to get the product ready for shipment. Dirty shoes or boots and soiled or wet garments must be stored properly. Soiled garments should be put in appropriate receptacles, and shoes or boots should be cleaned and placed where they can dry. They must not be put in a locker, especially if it is not ventilated. Doing this may attract insects and rodents and allow the microbial population to increase significantly. There are many other things you will need to remember to give the product and everything it touches the best possible protection against contamination. No eating, drinking, chewing, smoking, spitting, or toothpicking is allowed where food, ingredients, supplies, or equipment are exposed. Eat only in the designated area and refrigerate your lunch to keep it safe and fresh. Storing food in lockers can attract pests. If you do not have a disposable tissue handy when you cough or sneeze, direct your mouth and nose into the inside of your elbow to try to capture the explosion. If you scratch or rub your skin, touch your hair, tie your shoe, or adjust your clothes or undergarments, rewash and resanitize your hands. And do not use your mouth as an extra hand to open or close containers or to hold things temporarily. Failure to follow contamination control procedures can cost workers their jobs, companies their existence, and consumers their lives. Always remember that you are working with food that may be consumed by a member of your family, a friend, or a neighbor. Always think clean.